All right, I have compiled a few questions from the comments section of my last 2 YouTube videos, and I'm going to answer them for you today. And they're all questions pertaining to weight loss following a low calorie density diet. And if you're new to my channel, my name is Melissa. Hi. And I lost over 30 pounds, or about 30 pounds, following a low calorie density. Another name for this is the Starch solution, which is basically eating foods that are under 700 calories per pound, and you're able to eat until you're comfortably full without weighing or measuring. And I've now officially been eating this way for an entire year. So before I get into the questions, I just want to thank VitBoost for sending me some vegan supplements, which I'm actually pretty excited about. I have not taken supplements in years, and one in particular that I was excited about was B12, because this month, October, is actually my 6-year vegan anniversary, and B12 is, I'm told, very, very important for vegans, but I've actually never taken B12. So I am really curious because one of the benefits is a boost in energy. So I'm going to take this every day until the bottle's done, and I'm really curious to see if I have a noticeable difference in my energy level. And B12 also has a lot of other health benefits, such as red blood cell production, and it helps to prevent anemia. And I'm really excited to see how this goes. And I just want to thank VitBoost for sponsoring my video and supporting this channel. It means a lot to me. And also for sending me these vegan supplements. Another one they sent me is Vegan Biotin, which is supposed to be great for nails, hair, skin, and my hair already grows very quickly. So let's see, maybe my hair is going to be super, super long after taking this. Something that I've always had an issue with is actually thin nails. My nails are naturally quite thin. I do keep them really short because they have always just broken quite easily once they get a little bit longer. So maybe this will give me a bit thicker of a nail situation. I will report back to you. Actually, I will share kind of this journey with you on Instagram, on my Instagram stories. I'll let you know how this goes after taking it for a while. And then they also sent me Elderberry, which is immune support. And all of these are vegan. They are made in the US. This is a California company, and I'm in Arizona, so not too far. And they don't have any added artificial ingredients, artificial colors, or anything like that, which is awesome. But so these are pretty cool, but the big one that I'm really excited about is the B12. That's something people ask me about all the time, is what vitamins or supplements do you recommend? And since I haven't really taken any for years, I haven't really recommended any before. So I will start taking these, and I will let you guys know the results and how I feel, and hopefully this does end up giving me lots of energy. So also they've offered a 20% discount to my viewers. So I will put a coupon code, promo code in the description box of this video if you're interested in trying B12 or any of the other vegan supplements from VitBoost. I will put that in the description box. So thank you again for supporting my channel. It really means a lot to me. And yeah, let's get on with the questions. So I've just literally copied and pasted these into an email to myself and emailed them. I'm just going to be reading from my phone. So the first question is, what are your thoughts on loose skin losing weight on Starch solution? So again, if you're not familiar, Starch solution is a book from Dr. John McDougall, and it's just another name for this way of eating because so much of the food that you're eating is starch, like potatoes, grains, oatmeal, all that good stuff. So when it comes to loose skin, one of the biggest causes of that is rapid weight loss. The good thing about this way of eating that I promote is that the weight loss is slow and steady. And while a lot of people want to lose weight as fast as possible, I actually think it's better and you know, for your body to kind of adjust along the way. 1 pound of fat loss per week is actually quite a bit. I know it might not sound a lot because people look at the big picture and they want to lose 30 or 40 pounds, but I lost maximum 1 pound per week. And I only recommend weighing yourself once a week because I don't want people to hyper focus on the number. Just focus on eating these healthy, filling meals and let the weight loss take care of itself. Your body will release the weight at its own pace. And so just be patient with that process. But the positive aspect of that is that your body gets a chance to adjust. Your skin gets a chance to adjust to the gradual weight loss. And so that is a perk of that, is that you may find that that loose skin isn't as big of an issue when you lose weight slowly and steadily. Again, everybody and everybody's body is different. So while you can look at someone else's results when it comes to weight loss and how their skin is affected, whether or not they have stretch marks, or you know, how people's skin react to weight loss is different depending on the individual. So be patient with your body. Another thing you can do is use natural lotions on yourself. Make sure that your skin is hydrated with lots of water. Exercise can help with this, muscle tone and all of that, but be patient with your body and don't be so hypercritical. I know it's easy to say that, but just be patient with your body and let your body and your skin have a chance to adapt to the changes that come with weight loss. And obviously the more weight you have to lose, the more you may notice some looser skin, but there are ways to tone that up afterwards. So with exercise, and again with lotion and even some natural body oils applied to the surface of your skin. As well as, I should just say, this part really pertains to facial skin. Something that I've always been a huge fan of is derma rolling. So there's a little tool called a derma roller, and there are so many different brands that make them, but you can get them quite inexpensively. Basically, it's a little plastic handle and it has a roller with spikes along the outside of it. And basically you just roll it up and down your face and do a massage with it, and it stimulates collagen production. Also, something that I do is, it's called gua sha, hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly, and basically it is sometimes it's made of jade, there's rose quartz ones, I believe. Basically, it's a stone that is kind of sharper on the end, and you do stimulating massage with that as well. And always make sure that your skin is hydrated, whether you have a lotion or an oil on your skin, so that it's not tugging at the skin. But anything that you can do to kind of improve and increase the circulation of your skin is going to help. And again, just staying hydrated. All right, so does your partner eat the same kind of meals as you, or something really different? Thanks. So Alex, who's my fiance, he does not eat any meat. He's switched to just he's essentially like a pescatarian. He eats shrimp every once in a while. And if we're out of the house, he will have, you know, a cake that someone made and there might be egg or milk in it. He's not vegan 100%, but he eats whenever we're at home, he eats probably 95% vegan. Like, we don't buy animal products and keep that in our fridge or in our freezer. I never asked him to do this. He just kind of enjoyed the way that I eat and is cool with it. He's pretty easygoing, and so that makes it easier for me. But when it comes to giving up eating meat, he just one day decided that he didn't want that anymore, and now it's been over maybe three, almost 4 years for him that he hasn't eaten meat. So that was just his personal choice, and something that I can recommend that I do with him sometimes is that if I'm, say, making a dish that he might consider to be plain, something he'll do is just get, like, we have a little George Foreman grill. So say I make a veggie pasta dish. He will get a vegan like an Italian sausage or some sort of vegan meat and put that on the George Foreman grill, cut that up, and then add it to the pasta dish that I'm having. So we're eating the same thing, but his has a bit more of, you know, processed meats, and sometimes he'll do like the vegan cheeses. He'll add that to some things that I'm making. And same with if I'm making like a soup or a chili dish that is something that he considers to be a little bit plain, he'll add in something. So that, you know, if you're cooking for your family and you find that your kids or whoever you live with, they don't want to eat the same food, maybe just have yours as the base and they can kind of add things to it to make it a little bit more exciting for them, so that you're not having to prepare completely different dishes for everybody in the household, which can mean there's a lot of dishes to wash and it's extra work. So hopefully that is helpful for you, but yeah, that's our situation. So the next question here. Okay, quick question please. I've been eating this way for about 5 months now, but I'm about to give up due to the excessive gas I experience daily. Dr. McDougall said that this should last just 2 weeks. Not so for me. I take probiotics and digestive aid formula, but nothing helps. Shy of living on a deserted island, I don't know what to do. Well, thank you for your honesty, and honestly, I have gotten so many different variations of this same question, whether it is gas or bloating. I get asked a variation of each of these questions almost on a daily basis, because they are two things that are very frustrating that come with eating a huge influx of beans and many different vegetables. Something that I will say is, since you've tried, I'm sure you've tried many things by now since you've been eating this way for 5 months. Something that I would recommend is to kind of cut back, like just anything that potentially causes you any gas, avoid it and start eating only the foods. Just do like a 5-day experiment, like a 1-week experiment of eating only the foods that are known to be non-gassy foods. And I have a little list here for you. So when it comes to vegetables, bell peppers, bok choy, cucumber, fennel, kale, spinach, green beans, lettuce, spinach, tomatoes, carrot, and zucchini. So maybe make, like, I shared a recipe on my website of carrots ginger soup that is super delicious, and it's fall winter season now, so making soups with these veggies is a great option. And also when it comes to your grains, you can use oatmeal and rice. Now, I know this sounds very limited. Obviously, there are a few other things. You can have many fruits. You can make fruit salads and smoothies on non-gassy. But sticking with these foods and just getting really creative and making, you know, different meals that fill you up using these non-gassy foods. So give your digestive system a total break and see, does this work? Eating only these foods and making different meals that combine these ingredients, how do you feel eating this way? Are you noticing a total reduction in the gassiness that you were experiencing before? Hopefully the answer is yes. And then what I would recommend is choose a few foods, maybe just 1 or 2 at a time, that you're not sure if they're gonna cause you gas as you add them back into your diet. So kind of just do this experiment. Like, start adding in maybe half a cup of chickpeas and see what happens. You might be surprised and think, hey, I'm eating all these other non-gassy foods plus a bit of chickpeas. So far, so good. And then like do that for at least 3 days, and then add in something else that you are thinking like, well, what about broccoli? Broccoli has been known to be quite like gas producing, and add in a bit of broccoli. If the broccoli is what does it and you're like, oh no, as soon as I started eating broccoli, it just, triggered this, wave of gassiness in me, then there you go, remove the broccoli and test out another food, and then just keep a little list. I know this sounds like a lot of work, but the fact that you wrote me this question and have been experiencing this says that it's a big issue for you. And the fact that you're even saying that you're gonna give up eating this way altogether due to the gas that you're experiencing says that it might be worth doing this experiment, writing down all these notes. And I want you to compile a list for yourself of all the foods that are the safe zone for you. And it may take you getting super, super creative with those foods in order to create enough variety in your diet so that you are able to enjoy the meals that you're eating, because enjoying the food really, really is one of the biggest keys to sticking with this long term. I've been eating this way for a year now, and I'll honestly say that if I didn't like what I was eating, I don't think I would have been able to stick with it this way and to not even really have to put so much effort into my meals anymore. I just make things on autopilot, and I just really enjoy what I'm eating, and that makes it so much easier. Okay, so hopefully that helps, and I'm sorry that you've been experiencing that discomfort. It doesn't sound very fun. All right, next question. I've been asked this many times, but I think it bears repeating. What do you do for exercise, just out of curiosity? Okay, I want to say that in my personal experience with my body, exercise did not cause me to lose weight, did not contribute to my weight loss. So exercise is very important for health, moving your body to, stimulate your lymphatic system so that you can, drain your lymph nodes. Super important. You got to move, you got to have that circulation flowing. So I did do, about 10,000 steps per day. It's kind of been my go-to number when it comes to walking. And I really like to walk to energize me and to get fresh air and to get vitamin D from the sun, and it's just a mood booster for me. But that was not part of weight loss. Weight loss is, in my opinion and for my personal body, like 90% all about the food, your food choices. So for me, giving up the peanut butter at 3,000 calories per pound or something around there, and the oils at almost 4,000 calories per pound, and the packaged and processed foods, cookies, crackers, chips, vegan ice creams, giving up that stuff and focusing on whole natural plant foods that are satiating, filling, full of fiber, full of water, and low calorie density, that is what resulted in the weight loss. But to answer the question, what do I do for exercise? Just daily moving around my house, cleaning, mopping the floors, walking Beckham, brushing Beckham, my dog, and being outside, just doing my walks. So that's all I currently do for exercise. I am interested in, doing more, and I've been saying this for months now, but I haven't really started doing any other more intense workouts yet. For me, it's like a convenience thing. When I used to live in Canada, we lived in a condo building that had free access to a gym, and I would go almost every day. I loved it. It was so fun, and I just really loved using those machines. But I don't happen to have a gym super close by to me, so that's my reason for not doing that. But I still am saying that eventually at some point I'm going to get on it, and I'm going to do more exercise and build up some muscle tone. All right, so do we have to worry about getting all the nutrients necessary when eating this way? First of all, I would say trust your body. So, eat a variety of vegetables, a variety of fruits, a variety of different wet starches, oatmeal, rice, barley, millet, corn, different beans, different, lentils. Eat a big variety of this food and see how you feel. Of course, I mentioned already that B12 is, as a vegan, as someone who is not eating animal products, B12 is the one that most plant-based doctors say is a recommended supplement, because it's something that you don't get from fruits and vegetables. So I would recommend that. But as far as worrying about not getting enough protein, which is something that a lot of people mention to me, see how you feel. Like, I personally have been vegan for 6 years now, and I've never felt that I was missing something in my diet. So that's my personal experience. Then I've heard people who try eating plant-based or try making a certain kind of change for like a week, and they're like, I feel that I need more of this or more of that. Personally, for me, that's not my experience, and I can only speak for myself and how I feel. But I would say that there's so many more factors to how you feel than just the food. Things like, are you getting enough sleep? Are you completely dehydrated because you're drinking a ton of coffee and sodas and sugary beverages and you're not drinking water? Or maybe you're not having fresh fruit, which has a ton of hydration in it. Or you're not having dark leafy greens, which are very nourishing. And there's so many different things that are affecting your overall health that are not just the food. So a lot of time the food gets the bad rap. Someone tries veganism or tries a plant-based diet for a week, the same week that maybe they're not getting any sleep, they're stressed out, they're arguing with people at work, they're arguing with their significant other and not feeling good emotionally and all of these other factors, but then they kind of blame it on the plant-based diet. So again, everyone's situation is so completely different. I'm not a doctor, so I'm not going to personally recommend that you eat any which way. I'm just someone who shares my own experience with people who might be interested in, hearing what I do and what works for me. So I wish you all the best. All right, consistency is so hard. I need to stick to this. Okay, I've heard many other kind of comments and questions that are very, very similar. Actually, I have another one that's from a different person saying, great video. Unfortunately, my issue is consistency. I share a kitchen with my family, which makes cooking and prep really difficult. And I have a boyfriend who isn't super supportive, so it's difficult to stay on track when my environment is terrible. The fact that you've identified this is great. That's a great step forward. The fact that you even know that, hey, maybe it's my environment, maybe it's, all of these things that are kind of hurdles that are standing in the way of me sticking with this healthy way of eating long term. The fact that you've even observed and acknowledged that is huge. Now I want you to look at it like an experiment and ask yourself, okay, these are the realities of my life right now. This is my environment. These are the circumstances that I have. This is probably not going to change. At least all of these things are not going to change overnight for me. So what can I do to make this easier on myself? So maybe it is prepping. Maybe, when you've tried food prepping, you've tried to make elaborate fancy meals that you've seen on Instagram, and that's not really, doable for your life. Maybe you don't have all the time and you don't really want to be putting in all that effort. So try using frozen fruits and veggies like I do. I show that a lot in my videos. I, get the Walmart brand bulk bag of frozen broccoli. That might, maybe doing that is going to make it easier for you. You might have this idea in your mind of you want to have fresh organic food from Whole Foods only and whatever you may be telling yourself. But there might be little tweaks that you make that actually make your life so much easier, and you're like, oh, just having these frozen peas, frozen corn, frozen broccoli, putting that in the pan, I can warm it up in like 10 minutes. I've got half of my lunch prepared for the next 3 days. Then open up a can of kidney beans or black beans or chickpeas, rinse them out, scoop some out into different containers with the veggies, with some rice, and a splash of soy sauce or a splash of lemon juice and some sea salt and your favorite spices like garlic powder and onion powder. There you go. There's some little meals that you've prepped for the next 3 days for your lunches. It can be as easy as doing things like that. Then it doesn't really matter if people in your house are supportive of it or anything else, because your lunches are ready to go. You don't even need to mention it to anybody. You've prepped your lunches for the next 3 days, so you know that that's something that you can take off of your plate and take off of your to-do list. Maybe breakfasts in the morning are hectic for you. What can you prep the night before? What can you get all of your smoothie ingredients ready so that when you wake up in the morning, all you have to do is blend them and pour it into a glass and take it with you on the go if you need to. Just think in advance how you can, if you were an efficiency expert looking at your life, and the reason I say this is that I can't give you any specific tips because I don't know all of the circumstances. What time you start work, how long your commute is, how much money you have in your budget for groceries, what specific temptations you need to avoid in your social life or at work or at home. So you know those things. So I want you to be a detective or be a scientist and just kind of observe your day, observe your life, and just ask yourself, if I needed to be as efficient as possible and my task was to get myself to stick with this way of eating long term and allow it to be as smooth and easy as possible, what tweaks could I make to my lifestyle so that this is going to work for me? And it is going to be a process. You know, this takes time, but if you look at it like an experiment, then you won't take it so personally when you quote unquote make a mistake, which is normal. You know, having a mess up, or, you know, oops, I ended up eating birthday cake at some event because I was hungry and I didn't eat anything before that party. So what? It happened. Tomorrow's a new day. Now what can I do differently? Oh, I can put some bananas and apples in my bag, and I can prep a little container of food to take with me so that if I'm hungry tomorrow, I'll eat that and I won't be as tempted by, you know, processed foods. So looking at your life as this experiment that you're just going to make little tiny tweaks and changes to make this way of eating easier for yourself, I think this is going to be very, very helpful with you and help you stick with this long term. And just know that it will continue to get easier. Every little tweak that you make that puts you in the direction of putting this whole process on autopilot for yourself is going to make things easier, less stressful, less thought and energy is going to have to go into these same decisions in the future. But right now, just kind of accept the fact that it's going to take a little bit more work for the next few weeks or few months for the rest of your life to run a lot more smoothly. So hopefully that helps. Gosh, can you tell that I'm Italian? I talk with my hands so much. Sometimes even I notice it. I'm like, okay, Melissa, stop flailing your hands around. Yes, I'm Italian. What can I say? All right. I can't have any, this is going to be the last question because this video is probably getting a little bit lengthy. I can't have any lemon or citrus, nor can I do vinegars or smoke, meaning liquid smoke, which is something that I recommend for flavoring your food without adding a ton of calories or added fat, due to allergies. What would you recommend? So now this is in response to, I believe it was the last video that I made where I was sharing some ways to flavor your food without using packaged processed sauces and fattening seasonings and stuff like that. And so, okay, so this person is saying that they can't have most of the things that I recommended, which is a challenge. Now, someone could have watched that video and heard me recommend those things and thought, well, this way of eating is not going to work for me because I can't have any of that stuff, or I don't like any of those recommendations. And, you know, I get comments like this all the time where people will say, well, you recommend eating potatoes. I don't like potatoes, so this diet's not gonna work for me. Or, you know, I don't have time to cook all these meals at home, or this, that, or the other, so this won't work for me because of that. Now, this questioner, I like that you're asking, you're saying, hey, all of those recommendations you gave, I can't have those, I'm allergic to them. So what can I do? Well, the fact that you're, you know, open to trying other things, love that, that's amazing. You're going to have to put in more work. You're going to have to experiment with recipes. You might make a bunch of dishes and you're like, gosh, these are really bland. You have to think outside the box. What can I do? Well, I can eat mangoes and I love the flavor of mango. Maybe I can blend together mango with a bit of sea salt and some lime and, you know, some paprika. Maybe that would come out as a cool like sauce for my rice bowls. You know, that's a creative idea and I just kind of came up with that. So, you know, you will have to experiment with these things and you might come up with some not so delicious experiments. That's part of the process too. Some of the things you might be like, oh, this didn't quite work, this tastes gross, and that's not something I would make again. And I've created some of those myself. But you will surprise yourself when you start experimenting with some of your favorite flavors. You might come up with things and be like, oh my gosh, this is so delicious. People should package this and sell this because it's so tasty. And you'll have those kind of aha moments where you're like, okay, I can eat this. I like this. I can see myself wanting to eat this several times a week. Well, there's one recipe for you. Now do that again. Keep repeating this experimentation process until you have like 4, 5, 6 go-to meals or go-to sauces and seasonings that work for you, that you genuinely enjoy having. And then that's kind of your go-to. So my camera just decided to shut off and stop recording. Maybe it's a sign. I'm meant to wrap up this video, and I've got a very cute doggy here who wants my attention. So thank you for watching, guys. You want to see Beckham? I'll show you Beckham. Sit. Okay, I'm gonna move the camera because you're a little bit lower than what's in the shot right now. Oh. Who's this cutie doggy? Who's that cutie doggy? Is that Beckham? Hi. Say Say hi to YouTube. Oh, you're a very handsome boy. You just had a birthday. You're 9 years old. You're a big boy now. Oh yes. Oh yes. Are you my best friend? Are you my best friend?